you can't handle the heat.
We got Michelle. Welcome back to the episode of Can't Handle the Heat. It's your boy Gage, with my Joe and Micah, but we are not alone here. We have here a two-time national champion, won in 1999 as a player, now the first ever female head coach to ever win a national championship. We have the Katie Schumacher-Cawley. Thank you so much for coming on, Katie.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, first of all, congratulations. I know we were saying before, it was really impressive. Like, I had a chance to be actually stateside for the championship, so it lined up for me to watch.
Yeah.
I almost made it out to Louisville. Flights and stuff didn't end up working out. But it was really impressive. We got a chance actually to meet Jess Mrzik last summer. A lot of members of your team, to be honest, we hadn't typically we with our summer camps and stuff, we bring out a lot of athletes from different universities. We hadn't worked with a lot of athletes from your school. And last summer was the first time we kind of got to interact with a couple, and they were all just super nice, amazing people. So for us, that's first of all the most important thing. I know that's important for you as well, and you speak a lot about that. I just want to get from you, at a program like Penn State, what does a national championship mean to the program as a whole, especially, this was your fourth season?
Third season.
Third
yeah.
season.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yeah. What does it mean to the program as a whole to win a national championship?
It was so great to be able to bring it back to Penn State and back to the Big Ten. And, it's I think a great accomplishment for everyone, not just the staff and players, but I think Penn State as a whole, the athletic department and the university. I mean, the support we have from everyone is amazing, and I'm just happy, and I know these alum are really happy and proud, and it goes for our men's team too. We're really tight with the men's team, and a bunch of those guys came out to the match, and I just think it's the best community to be a part of, and I'm honored to be leading this program, and I'm just happy for this team because they put the effort and the time in to get to where it was we needed to be.
No, absolutely. And I think for you guys, I mean, it was the Big Ten is, like you pointed out at the beginning, Big Ten is a conference that really challenges you for every single night. And I think on the men's side, we've talked about that with a few conferences, but that preparation and the mentality, you can see how that paid off for you guys, especially later on down the road. That fourth set against Nebraska, what was some of the stuff that you were talking, because I don't think you can actually prepare a team to be in that situation. 22-16, I believe.
Yeah.
You'll know.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you were talking about to your guys' team in that moment to try to spark something, I guess, to get you guys through that match?
Yeah. I think it was, I put a lot on the seniors this year, and I thought they did an exceptional job of leading the group. And, I think we prepare them in practice for situations like that. And 22-16. I mean, the things going through my head were, some of them were like, man, this was such a great season. But I knew if we scored, I knew if we would get to a fifth, we would be in a great spot. And, we just kept grinding points. I mean, Nebraska made a few errors that weren't typical of them. And we kind of, there's a short window of time when you can take over. And they made a few errors and we scored, and, pushed to a fifth set, and it's anyone's game. But for us, it was more just, hey, stay focused. Like, everyone has a job, and they know what they should be doing. And I think we're pretty calm and collected when it comes to that. It's it's no real rah-rah. It's like, hey, put your arms around each other, battle, and get after it. So everyone contributed from, obviously, I think, Jess is one of the best players in the country this year. And, she put the team on her back, and she'd take 100 swings if that's what it took for us to win. But, we had some great digs, Izzy setting, and I thought, defensively, we made some good changes.
I think calm and collected, sorry to cut you off, Joe, but calm and collected is kind of that kind of sticks out to me when I was watching the end of the national championship, just the poise and the maturity that it looked like your guys' team had when you kind of knew that you were gonna win. And then a lot of times you can kind of see through people trying to fake that sort of composure, and it looked like pretty legitimate, authentic, like point by point volleyball.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're contributing that to the senior group. As this is your third year, it's kind of the group that you've had the chance to like grow as like inside of your own program,
Right.
inside of your own culture. What are some things that when you did take over the program from like such a historic coach and such like a dynasty that you wanted to implement and that you've kind of put as the foundation of your culture?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew, I mean, obviously I was an assistant with Coach Rose for the last 4 years, and no one's going to ever do what he did, and I think that that's the thing. I mean, I learned a lot from him. I played for him, and, so as far as, I think it's just the expectations of how great we could be, we should be, but, we lost the last 2 years in the Sweet 16. And these seniors were not happy about it. And so I challenged them to do some things better off the court and to be more focused in practice. And, they did everything and more that we asked. And, I think we're pretty aggressive in practice. And for me, the match time is like, hey, that should be the easy, really fun part, because we're not in the gym for, whatever, 2 hours or 2.5 hours of getting after it and going hard on skills. So, I was just, proud of what they did, and that they led in a positive way, and they knew when they were in those situations. I mean, we compete every day in practice. Every day in practice, we'll do some sort of competing, and we put them in scoring situations. And, sometimes I don't let them out of a drill until they can figure it out and get it done. And it's hard. So that's why, I thought in matches, they were like, hey, we've done this, we've been here, and we can figure it out. So, but I think it's just that everyone bought in, and everyone is proud to wear the Penn State jersey. And we've had so many alum come back this year, and obviously, they're proud of this team, and they're proud of what they're doing, and how they're representing themselves. And, so I think it's little changes here and there, but, the overall is, we like to win, and I want to do it the right way. And I'm surrounded by the best staff. I can't ask for better people to be around me and this team who truly care about the players. And, I think that's really special.
Not to, I guess I want to pick your brain, but I don't know how much you're willing to share. What does like a practice plan for you guys look like then? I know I'm hearing a lot about like just the preparation of it. Sounds like that's kind of what was the key to your guys' success.
I mean, I just think it's being organized, and I think everyone has a role. I mean, like I said, I have a great staff, Megan, Brian, and Mike, and everyone knows what they're really good at and getting better at a lot of other things. And we plan together, and, I let my coaches coach. I get involved, and I obviously still run drills and do things like that, but hey, they know exactly what we're trying to do, and we're on the same page. And I think it's, having a staff that's on the same page, and, I have to make final decisions on things, and they understand that, but it's more of like, I love learning from everyone. And, I don't care what level you're at, you always can learn, you can always get better. And, I think this is a group that we can constantly bounce ideas off of. But, it's the players that are putting the effort in. Yeah, we can push them to do what they need to do. But, I mean, we have players in the gym all the time on their own, serving, passing. We compete and we serve and pass every day in practice. And serving, I think, is the skill that, hey, you have to be better at it. We can help you, but you have to get in the gym and you have to do it. And, those were the little things that they did. But as far as practice, we always had a plan, and I don't like to waste time. And the team knows that. They know what we're doing, and sometimes we'll throw in a few extra things. I don't think they need to know every single move we're making. I think that's today's generation. They have to know exactly everything, but we'll throw in a little, test their cardio, and they don't know that's coming. But no, I think it's just being on the same page and, being committed to the process of getting better.
Sorry, I'm kind of hogging the mic, but I'm Just
No,
I'm very interested. So our like from the men's game, our serving philosophy is I feel like a little different than the women's, just because of
yeah,
how much top spin or jump serving there is.
right.
So I'm not as familiar with like what exactly on the women's game has been the serving evolution like over the last 5 to 10 years, and what are you teaching? What is the skill? What is the goal? And like, are there any things you've grown to like, um, yeah, I guess adapt as a serving philosophy and a way to
Yeah.
teach serving as a skill?
I mean, I think we try not to change a ton of their, their skills in terms of, I mean, serving's their routine, whatever. Are you bouncing it 3 times, 4 times? I mean, for us, it's like keeping the ball in front of you and going up and down. But we really worked on serving, lower to the tape and at a higher speed. I mean, we clocked serves every day and we were like, you have to be 40 or higher. And we were way above that at some points. And we felt that, if we can get teams out of system, so I wouldn't get super worked up about, hey, we missed. I mean, there are definitely matches we missed way too many serves in the net, and that would drive me crazy because I'm like, give yourself a chance to defend, right? Like, keep the ball in play, hit the seam. So for us, it was more speed. It was being able to work the seams, and we put stuff out where they have to serve, X amount of balls in between before we're done, and it was hard and really frustrating at times, but those are things that they were like, okay, I have to get better at this. And so I'm going to do this on my own as well. So I think for us, it was speed, being able to move the ball around. We didn't serve a ton of short balls. I think we need to be a little bit better at that. But, I thought we had some servers that can drop some balls in front of, passers. And, I thought Ava was really good at that, one of our DSs. And, but again, you guys know it's, how much time are you going to put in it? You have to practice that. But we did do it every day. But I think for us it was the being able to put a little more heat on the serve and see, getting the setter off the net a little bit more for us. So because I thought we were better at defending out of system balls. So
Yeah. No, I like the point you made too about how like everything's just so individual on the service line because it's match to match too, set to set.
yeah,
What you do on the
absolutely.
service line is completely like if the team can't side out, do not bail them out by like that's a conversation that I think is on both the men's and the women's side. And so I think what you said too is like, yeah, we can teach you all these things and skills and the speed we need you out, but at the end of the day, the decision is on the server to go and actually
Right.
do what we
Yeah.
need in this moment.
Yeah, and I always said, hey, like, let's make it weird. Like, you're serve from the other side of the court too. Like, feel comfortable going from wherever it is on the end line. Let's not get so like, just because you're playing here, you don't have to just serve from right back. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we did a lot of that in practice too, just so if we had to do it in a match, that they're like, hey, this isn't the first time they're telling me to move over to serve. So, yeah. So
How
just being a, go ahead.
Sorry. I
No,
was
no.
just gonna ask you how common that is to teach that because on the men's side, you're starting to see that a lot more. Like every coach that I work with now is like we're serving on every line, like you're serving every direction they want. Is that common to teach on the women's side as well?
I don't know. I mean, it's something we started doing last spring because I was like, I mean, everyone gets so centered on where they're at and it's uncomfortable. So, I mean, I always say, let's make it weird, get uncomfortable and feel good about that. And, so I don't know. I thought we did a lot of that starting last spring, just because I thought we did have some good servers, but it's okay to mix it up. So. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what a lot of people do in other gyms, and I just know we try to get as great as we can in ours.
Don't worry, we won't ask you too much about
Actually,
other people's gyms. We'll ask you
no,
about yours though.
I like no, but you know what? I love our men's team and our men's staff, and we're always bouncing back and forth with those guys, and I think you can learn so much. I mean, I love all those coaches. I mean, Pav was the head coach when I played here, and we have a great relationship, and his staff is amazing, and they'll pop in practice all the time and just to chat. And, I love picking their brain on stuff too. I mean, they'll come to our scrimmages and they're not afraid to hold back. And I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right, but man, you're harsh, but I love it because you can learn. You're always learning. So, yeah.
I did see like again we're overseas, so the times just don't work out too well, and I was able to
Yeah.
catch quarters, semis, and finals, but I haven't seen like a lot of women's college volleyball over the last 5 years. And I have seen like a crazy amount of progress in like the development of the game. Even like when I was in college, tipping to like the setter, like tipping over the block and like high was like they're like the favorite thing to do of everybody. And I was just watching teams just like tip like high tips over the block.
Yeah.
65, 70 times. Like, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
now that I'm watching that, it's like it doesn't exist. Like everyone, if you're tipping with speed into gaps,
jamming it
or
down.
you're jamming, and like a lot of the evolution that I don't know who came up, but like it's similar in European men's volleyball. Like if you're tipping over the block, it's like what you got to either recycle or it's got to be aggressive.
Yeah.
How has that evolution, like, where did that come from? Was that even like taken from the international game, or like was that just developed on?
Yeah. No, I think for sure that's like part of the international game. I mean, I think our Pins did a good job of recycling and be able to do that this year. But the jamming and throwing down and the two-handed thing, I mean, that was really hard for me to kind of like wrap my brain around. I mean, I thought Jess was good at it. Other players are trying it. I'm like, I don't know. And, the one-handed, the jams, it's like, hey, sometimes they were calling it, sometimes they weren't calling it. And that's where, like, here in the US, it's like, okay, they're getting used to seeing that. You saw that in the semis and the finals, and they're not blowing the whistle. They're letting it go. So, hey, either you got to get on board and know how to do it and keep the ball in front of you. And, I think part of it's being strong enough to do it as well. And, but no, I think that's for sure an international, and trying to bring it over here. And Jess played a lot of international volleyball this summer with USA, and that was one of the things she came back with the two hand. And I'm like, I don't know about this. I'm like, and this was in preseason. I'm like, are they going to call this? Are they not going to call this? And she's like, we'll see. We'll give it a try early. And I'm like, oh God, but it all worked out. And yeah, I think just being able to expand your range of, all along the net, what you can do and going off the block. And I thought we worked on that a lot, is hitting high hands off the block. And that definitely paid off for us. And, but again, that was something we pushed them to do in practice and put them in situations where we had to score that way. So.
No, that's awesome. The one question I want to ask specifically to a specific player, just because Mike and I are setters, so we all are watching that, I guess, the closest. And I'm just being, again, it's hard to watch like a lot of matches. I actually watched your guys' match in Wisconsin, and I'll be honest, like the first thing I'm like, wow, like obviously the two freshman setters. Yeah. And I was not super impressed with the performance, obviously, with Izzy. I came back and watched when Nebraska came, and I was like, wow, that was a huge improvement. Because for me, I'm like, okay, a match like this in Wisconsin, a lot of pressure. Maybe dealing with a freshman setter, it's difficult on the road. I know, like, coaches talk about that all the time.
Our luck at Wisconsin hasn't been great, but we beat them here.
I think a lot of people. Well, that's just a lot of people.
Brutal. But it was brutal.
And then in the NCAA tournament, it's just completely different transformation with her. And she killed it. Later on, it was really the best setter in the Final Four.
Absolutely. In my opinion. Yeah, mine too.
What were the conversations like for you guys after, I guess, that Wisconsin match, and like to kind of make that stride for her going into the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, Izzy, she's exceptional. I mean, she's a freshman, but she's really hard on herself, and but she puts the time in, whether it's with film, it's extra reps. She's one of the other ones that's always in the gym as well. I thought she did a really good job. She came in January, so she was here able to train in the spring, but I think for her to get in the weight room, I mean, she's so physical and strong, and but for her, it was adjusting to I think the level of play, how fast, and her hitters, and I think setters want to be the best they can be all the time. And you got some hitters that are always nagging you, hey, higher, lower, faster, whatever it is. And I thought that was really hard for her at the beginning, but she settled in, and man, she worked her butt off. And I think the hype, and obviously you guys know, it's the social media world too. It's the hype they put on some of these matches, and I'm like, hey, it's okay to have all the feels, and you gotta be able to embrace that a little bit. And But our conference is relentless, and I thought, from that match forward, everyone's like, hey, we don't want to lose. Like, we want to win more matches, and we have to get better. But she's a student of the game. She wants to do film all the time. She wants to do extra reps. The questions she asked are high level questions and not freshman questions. So, and I mean, obviously, I have a great relationship with her and all of our players, but I mean, she's already talking about getting back in the gym this spring. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, let's wait a second. We're gonna get a little bit of time off here. We're gonna rest our body. I mean, she needs to work on, obviously, I think, it's the stronger she gets, the better she is. I think defensively she can be better, but I thought her net play at the end of the season was excellent. She was blocking balls, and yeah, I mean, she's a true competitor, and I'm so happy she's here. And she has no idea how good she can be, and I think that's the great part about it.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I think, and it too. Like the setting position that's what separates teams, in my opinion, at the end of the season. Like usually
Absolutely.
the setter who plays the best is typically the team that wins, especially at that level. And she clearly was the best setter in the final throughout the Final Four. For you, there's I think we're gonna venture off to some other questions, but I want to ask just for you
Yeah.
in terms of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches, at least a lot of coaches I've played for and been around, talk about like there's key moments in the season where you're like, all right, this is a defining moment that when you look back at the end of the season, like this was something that was really important for us to turn either a page or experience something. What was something for you, or a couple things for you guys this year, that you can speak to that paid off? Like now looking back on it, kind of.
Yeah. I think it's always some of the matches that open your eyes to, okay, wow, we think we're good at this and we're really not. But, I thought in preseason for us, it was pretty early. I mean, we, beat Kentucky at Kentucky, and we were down, 2, and figured it out. And I think after that match, they felt really good about like, hey, we can do this, we can compete, and that we made changes, and they realized that. And then I think also the other one, we played at Pitt in front of this unbelievable crowd. It was sold out, and our players, the freshmen, they'd never been in an environment like that. And we got our butts whooped. And I think we went on I don't know what it was, a 17, 18 winning streak after that, because after that match, I'll tell you what, these seniors were like, this is not how this is going to go. And, everyone made adjustments, and I think going on from there, and obviously in the conference, I mean, and then we head out to California. I mean, I think every match has a role in your success. We go 5 with UCLA. I mean, that's a tough trip to go out to. I mean, you guys know the conference now is crazy, right? We're going out to UCLA, USC, and we went 5 with UCLA and could have very easily lost that match. And then and then maybe we're not hosting, or maybe we're not, where we are at the end of the season. And so, I think just finding ways to win. Especially in this conference, you got to win at home, and you got to steal matches on the road, and I think that was something that they knew, and so maybe we prepared. Those were things that they talked about, is playing on the road. You have to be able to win those matches. So yeah, so I think it was. I think it was a couple. Those are the matches that come to my mind that stuck out to me afterwards, where it was like, hey, they really wanted to talk about these matches and why we did this and why we did that. So. But for me, it was like, hey, every day in this, everyone sees the weekend play, but it's what you're doing during the week that's going to separate you. So those were the things I think that they bought in on, that helped us win those tougher matches.
Before we, I don't know, kind of jump ship and go into some other topics, I also wanted to ask a question on reflection. What was the biggest realization this year? And it could have happened at any moment. I feel like just every year I've realized something about either myself or volleyball being overseas. And so I'm just curious to you what your biggest realization was this year that you're trying to carry on and not forget for next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the time they put in. I think it's I think all of these girls, we had 16 players, and I say the same thing every day to them. They know they get sick of me, but I mean, all 16 of them have an impact on this team's success. And our 16th player, hey, you're going to get good at something and you're going to help players get better. Like that's your role. And I think for me, it's more of just, it's being honest, and it's, I'm okay with having the hard conversations, and, just being able to do that and to have those open conversations. But, obviously, I mean, the season, everyone wants to talk about how I'm sick and this and that. And, and maybe for them, it made it a little bit easier. Like, hey, there's, bigger things and, in life. And my goal is always for them to have the best time they can have here. But no, there's always struggles, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Like, it's hard. You guys know that. I mean, you guys are away from home, and you find yourself, no matter what age you are, you're going to have these ups and downs, and it's being able to, stay focused on what you want, and to be able to, know that a lot of people care about you, and you'll get through it. But, yeah, I mean, I think I really want the younger players to have embraced what they learned from the older girls, and to always, carry something on from the group that left.
Could you feel the impact of the perspective gained from what you were going through on the team? Like, was it a pretty powerful impact? I mean, I would guess that it would be. But
Yeah,
what was that like?
I think so. And I mean, everyone knows someone that's maybe had breast cancer or cancer in their family and stuff like that. And it sucks. And but, for me, it's part of life, and I will get better. And yeah, I mean, that's why I talk about my staff all the time. I mean, I missed a couple practices because I was doing, I was getting chemo, and, we didn't skip a beat. But for me, the team, it was like, hey, they had tons of questions. They want to know everything that I was doing. They knew when I wasn't going to be around, that was the relationship we had, and it made it a little bit easier. They understood that. And, so sure, I think you take a step back and you're like, wow, I'm living my best life playing college volleyball. I'm getting all of these things. And so, I say they're spoiled, and they're spoiled in the best way possible with, whether it's nutrition, mental health, things like that. And so I think that, really embracing what you have in front of you is what you should be doing. But sure, I think it impacted some of them, and some of them had, family members that have had this, and maybe people they've known that's passed away. So it's definitely plays with your emotions on that part of it. But, I'll be good when this is, all done. And, yeah, so I think everyone took a step back, but I was no different in the gym. I think maybe sometimes they thought I was going to get a little softer, and I didn't. So, but no, yeah, I think it was an eye opener for everyone that, it's not, I think that you can have other focuses too.
Well, I hope that you are. I'm not. We're not going to go too crazy into it, but I hope that you're doing well. And
Yeah, no, I was actually I was in Philly yesterday. I had chemo yesterday, so it's all I'm doing all my stuff in Philadelphia, which is good. So I'm back in State College now, and I get some time to just kind of relax and not have to travel, and enjoy being at home with my kids and my family. So
yeah, I hope the rest and the relaxation of not having to travel and do all that stuff can help. And
yeah,
for sure,
no,
wish you
well,
the best in the journey, for sure.
thanks. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
of course.
A couple more questions, and we'll let you go.
Yeah. Yep.
We know you got stuff to do. You just kind of off topic, but Pennsylvania, has there been any conversation on the women's side about, so like Juniata won D3, obviously with
Yeah.
Penn State, but the thing is, a lot of those programs are full of kids who just aren't from Pennsylvania, but all the Pennsylvania schools are winning and are at the top of college volleyball, especially on the women's side. Do you put any reasoning behind that, or is it just kind of coincidental right now with why that's the case?
Yeah, I don't think you'd ever think that any Pennsylvania school. I mean, I will tell you, Pennsylvania volleyball is getting better for sure. But no, I mean, what Heather's done at Juniata is unbelievable. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, I would have never thought in my time of playing that Pitt and Penn State would be at a Final Four together. Um, but no, I mean, I think volleyball's growing so much. I think the volleyball out here has gotten so much better. We always have a kid from Pennsylvania on our team. So, we have a local kid, Kate Lally. She's a state college player. The last couple years we've had some PA girls, but Lena and Macy, they're Pennsylvania kids, and the
Is
Kraus
that a
family.
requirement? Is that a requirement or?
No, but I mean, hey, I want some local kids here,
No,
you
of
know.
course,
I,
of course.
I
It's like
think
Hawaii,
it's
Micah.
It's like Hawaii. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
mean, you always do. I mean, I think that, Penn State's a school that people are, really prideful about, and, there's some legacy kids, and, we want them here. Um, but no, I mean, obviously you guys see how much volleyball's, I mean, the TV, I mean, just the TV contracts,
Insane.
it's
This
nuts.
year, was really when I personally woke up to it. I know it's been happening. It's been going on, but I had not been paying attention. It is insane the level of
Yeah,
college women's volleyball and
yeah.
the viewership and how popular it's.
It's
Oh
great.
my
So
god!
yeah, and so I mean, I think it's just getting better everywhere. And you see how many, I mean, there's so many good teams now. I mean, there's
Oh,
so many good volleyball teams,
it's
and
insane.
yeah, and it's fun. I think that's the best part about it. I mean, there's so many schools that are doing well, and I think that just makes it. I mean, the tournament was so exciting. I mean, there could have been major upsets along the way, and just because it's good volleyball, not because they lost to a bad team. Hey, everyone's got players and everyone's got scholarships and money coming in, so it's like, hey, no, but Pennsylvania volleyball I think is on the rise, and I got three girls that are playing, so we'll see if we can help out with that.
That's
The
awesome.
last time I talked to Pav, actually, he made a very interesting comment that I had never really thought about, and I'm sure you've heard this from him probably, but the impact of this growth on the women's side and how it will be seen in the men's game, when those women are all having children.
Oh
Has he
God,
ever
oh
talked to you
yeah,
about this?
oh yeah. I
Yeah, and
mean,
I was like, dude, that makes so. He's like, there's so many women playing, and how do men get into volleyball? Let's be honest. It's usually our mom or dad played.
right,
Not a lot of us are
right,
their dad was their coach, my dad was my coach. Everyone,
yeah,
it's kind of how it
right,
works. So how many moms are just going to be peppering with their sons, and how
totally,
there's just going to be this generation of thousands of kids that because how big women's volleyball is now that have been
yeah,
peppering with their mom and men's volleyball is going to benefit from the rise in
yeah.
women's too.
No,
It
I
was
mean, I think it's
it was crazy to think about.
no, and just the fact, I mean, we are one of the lucky schools that has, the men's and women's program, and I mean, we've always been, I mean, when I played, we were always tight with the team, and they're like your best buds, and it's so fun, and like I said, you can always learn from watching, regardless, men's, women's game. It's like you can take away something from it. So, no, I mean, I think it's only going to get bigger and better. And again, we're fortunate with the pro leagues now, and I mean, we have a couple players that are all in both leagues, and some still playing international. It's amazing, and I'm just so happy that these girls have the opportunity to do these things now. And if they want to stay in the States, they can. And, fingers crossed that those can keep going, and that, they can get those sponsorships and order, and, and then who knows, maybe the men can get some real money over
Uh,
here too. I know it's
I don't
crazy.
know if it's, but
You
we're
never
stoked for the
know,
women.
right?
We're stoked for the women.
Yeah.
It's insane to see. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
that. It's super cool.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier, you won in the Stan Sheriff Center when you were a player.
Yeah.
And we were talking because I was asking Micah before you came on, is there a chance he was at, because he was born and raised on Oahu,
Yeah.
going up to all the UH games. He's like, I might have been at the match, to be honest, when he was
Oh,
like,
you're probably like a baby. I'm old,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I would have
yeah.
been. I would have
But
been.
That was the best experience I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, to have the Final Four in Hawaii was insane.
Yeah, the
I mean,
stand is like,
I'm like, let's bring it back there. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
yeah, you should.
They
I
won't
mean,
let them do
well,
it for the men.
It's
Not-
great.
Yeah.
now with what you guys have on the mainland, it's pretty hard to rival too. So it's like, but on the men's side, it is still like by far the biggest.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean,
crowd.
it was amazing. It was, I mean, here we're, a bunch of Midwest girls playing at Penn State,
Yeah.
going to Hawaii for the
Yeah.
week. It was like, hey, this is no, I mean, the people were great. And I think obviously at the time, you know, the Hawaiian fans didn't want to see a West Coast team win, so we were like the favorite. At least
Oh,
I felt like
sick.
they were cheering for us the whole time. So it was an amazing experience. It was, it was
Impressive
it
to
was
keep your focus too. Coming to Hawaii
Yeah.
and winning is never easy.
yeah.
You usually
And
got
winning's-
like
winning-
five guys that are sunburned and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
dehydrated, and it's like
For sure.
It's-
We had,
it's
I think,
a
I think
tough
we had,
place.
I think we had like, 2 days before we actually had to like get moving, doing stuff. And we had one day at the beach and definitely some sunburns on some people.
for sure,
but,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where my brother and I went, and we had like hilarious opposing team. Just funny story. Guys would show up. They were like at the beach surfing all day. The day they
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I had a guy,
What are you doing?
we had a guy who was from like Montana. He's like, I saved up for an entire year and I blew my entire savings on this
Oh my God.
trip. And
I'm
like,
sure.
"Ah."
Yeah.
Live it up,
I
man.
believe it. It's like a vacation of a lifetime getting over there.
For sure.
Well, I have one more question. I don't know if one of you
Okay.
guys have another one. We talked about the state of women's volleyball. For you, you're talking about even advancing it further, in the future. And obviously, you being the first female head coach to ever win. I know there's been a lot of talk about that and just what that means. Also, shout out to Coach Danny Busson-Kelly. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Been doing a great job. But what for you on the women's side of the game, and if you have something for the men's side too, who's significantly behind at this point, but what are some things that you want to see happen, advance it even further here in the next few years and 10 to 20 years?
Oh God, that's a great question. I mean,
I
I
have
mean,
one. I'll give you time to think. I
Yeah.
have one. How on earth, for at least the Final Four, did they not have a legit challenge system? That's one that I'm seeing. How are they still using TV cameras for the Final
Yeah,
Four?
that's that's the money thing, right? I mean, they used it for the preseason tournament that they did. But I mean, I don't know how much it's a fortune, I guess.
Yeah, it's
But for the finals, I actually I did ask if they were doing that in the finals, and that was like early in preseason. They were like, "No, we don't think so," because I mean, I don't know what it costs, like 20 grand, 30 grand. I don't even know, but they should have had that for sure. But then these line judges wouldn't be making any money, and they work hard all year long to try to get to the finals. But no, I
still
thought
have them. They just
You
I
need
know.
the right call to be made too.
Yeah.
That's pretty
For
important.
sure.
That's pretty important.
No, it 100% is, and knock on wood, we got lucky with our challenges. But no, I would say that would be something for sure in the finals. But I mean, the platform that these women have now to get these NIL deals, to be exposed and to do things, outside of volleyball that they enjoy doing, and maybe giving back to, things that they like to do. And I think that's only going to get bigger and better. And obviously, the social media wasn't like it is when I was playing, and probably a good reason it wasn't. But I mean, these ladies can do what they want, and they can be part of, different companies and things like that. I think that that's so special. But no, I think the growth of the game is going to be even bigger and better. I mean, I think we were on Big Ten Network. I think it was like 11 times, and then we were on Fox and ABC, all that. Like in my wildest dreams, I would have never thought that happened, that you're playing on ABC in the Final Four.
Insane.
Yeah. So I think it's caught on, and I think we need to keep riding this and ask for more, and continue to, to push these players to I think it's tricky now. They can get paid now and they can make money now. And, I still make my team do things in the community where you're not getting paid. Like you're going to be a great citizen of this community because they support you and they love you so much that, I don't want that to ever go away. I think it's important and these people really care about the team. And, so I try to keep some of that stuff in really good perspective because they want for nothing, and you guys know men's volleyball was different. You guys didn't have full ride scholarships. You were lucky to get some money and then maybe books or whatever it was. And, so I think that part of the game is changing quickly and I'm hopeful I can keep a good balance on it.
Yeah.
I have a fun question for you that popped up. If you were playing, go Joe.
I just saw one thing because it's a debate I literally had today, and you brought up a point that I really want to know your. I apologize. We keep thinking of more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
We'll
okay.
be done. We're not gonna make it through our list.
What,
that's for sure.
No worries.
You talked about how there's a lot of money being invested and a lot of social media. For me, this is my viewpoint because sports it's in the entertainment industry. Money comes from views, from entertainment
Right.
stuff, and
Right.
I know there's a lot of stuff like online right now. Like if you look at the biggest leagues, the NFL, the NBA,
Yeah.
MLB, whatever. It's just the reason it's so big is because there's so much attention on it. People are interested. They want to share their opinions. That brings more money to the sport. In volleyball, I think there's this thing you see where it's very accepted, like a lot of the positive stuff coming from the fans, but then when negative stuff comes for performance,
Right.
Yeah, it's like if you want all this attention, we want all this on the sport. Like you have to be understanding that this comes with that also.
100%.
Yeah, people are gonna be mean, but look across every other major sport, and I'm like, we can't sit here and be pissed off that people are sharing their negative opinions because this is what we wanted. We want more attention and more people to care about our sport.
100%. I mean, and that's part of it too. And I think, some of our players are really into like reading all of that stuff. And I said all the time, I'm like, you guys are crazy.
Crazy.
Like,
That's nuts.
because when you're winning, everyone loves you. The second, you fluff up, it's like, hey, so that's part of it. So yeah, if you're gonna put your name out there and be in the front light, you better know that you're gonna get just as much negative bad as positive. And I think that's been the hardest part for some of these ladies. And I know a couple of them turn off social media once we get going, and I think that's great. I mean, who cares? I'll tell you how good you are. I'll tell you how bad you are at this match. You don't gotta listen to whoever it is that's typing this.
Real life comment.
Yeah. So, but no, I think that's yeah, and that's the price you pay. Like you're out in the limelight. Hey, it's not always going to be the positive things that you like to hear about yourself. So, yeah.
My question was a little bit more on the fun side. If you were playing right now and you could have any one NIL deal with any company,
God.
which NIL company would you choose?
Oh God. That's a great question. Well, I mean, we live in a small college town, so there's not a whole lot, but oh my God. I mean, I couldn't even imagine.
It's hard.
It's so hard because you know what, these girls, they can they do autograph sittings with some of the football players, and I mean, they might get $1,000 to go do that. Like, I'm like, I couldn't imagine doing that in college.
Insane,
Like, we would go do autographs anyways and just have fun and be like, oh, this is so cool. And now you're getting paid on top of it. I mean, I was always calling home for more money. So I think any of it would be for me, but I don't know. A lot of these girls, like, I don't want to say they're getting money. They're getting like free gear, and I mean, they're getting prime sunglasses because I know him, and you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
For
Like
sure.
that's super cool, but yeah, I don't know.
No favorite restaurant, no favorite
God. Well, I don't eat a
clothing
ton these days.
brand.
Oh, I mean, obviously I'm a Nike. I'm a Nike girl for sure, but I
Okay.
also I love Lulu. I've been trying to work them, but we have this Nike thing that we have to make sure we're compliant with. Yeah, I like, what is it, Alo, whatever we call it,
Uh-huh.
Alo. I
Yeah.
always mess it up, but our team, we were hooked up in those sweats this year. That was like what, but
Sure.
when we get to the gym, we can't wear that stuff. We have to wear our Nikes. So, but
Wow.
I would like a Nike shoe. I
Oh,
won't buy
that
a
would be
shoe.
sick! That'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be so sick.
Yeah, We have a bunch of
And Nike
sneakerheads on
shoe would be
the
cool.
we got sneakerheads on our team, and so that was always fun to pick out new shoes and stuff. So
That's that basketball side in you probably too.
yeah, no doubt. I know.
Yeah,
We need something on the volleyball side. So
true.
Joe, Micah, is that all your questions here?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even get to talk about transfer portal and a lot of stuff, but
quickly, I
it's
do
also
like,
New
just wanna
Year's
be-
Eve.
We were talking about that today too, between us. Like, I know I keep saying last question. What?
no, it's okay.
Transfer portal wise, I know you kind of have to be careful about what you say, like, coaches,
Yeah.
just with how it's all going right now, NIL. So I know there's a lot of just conversations, on the outside. Coaches for sure talk on the inside. But what is your honest opinion about it? What do you think? What type of changes do you think can help fix it a little bit, if it needs to be fixed, in your opinion?
Yeah.
And is there anything that you guys are having conversations with between your staff on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's insane. Like it's crazy. I mean, back in the day, you would never think of transferring. You just thought it was really hard, and it was hard, and unless you had to transfer for financial reasons. But the first year I took over, I mean, we had, players leave. I think we had 8 transfers, and it was nuts. But I think for me, it was more of like, hey, we have to have the best players we can right now. And we did that. And I thought we did a really good job of it. And now I think we've stabled. I mean, we'll have 4-year kids. And obviously I want players that want to be at Penn State. I don't want to see players leave. But I think the grind sometimes is really hard. And I think people want the instant, I should play, or I should this or that. And my hope is that I know we can train players and we can keep them engaged all the time. And but I think there's always going to be a year or two where you're going to bring 1 or 2 kids in, and that's just what it's going to be. So I don't know. It's a catch-22. I can't say I don't like it because we've been super successful. I mean, we've had players come in that have been game changers for us where we're at, but we also, I mean, the senior class, I mean, it was a mix of kids, and we had 4-year kids, and it was amazing for them to really rally around the new kids that we brought in, because they had the same goals and they wanted to win and they wanted to do things, and they're really great friends. So I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't want to get too into it, but I think there's got to be some sort. I mean, I know they're going to have to put some things on this, and then you guys, you hear stuff too. It's like, I mean, the first year I was here, they're like, oh yeah, they all got cars. I gave them all cars. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's funny because I was like, not one of these kids have his car. Like, are you joking? Like, I mean, those are things that's like, you read stuff and you're like, damn, I wish I could give everyone a car, but that's not how it works, So, we do it the right way, and we want the best players. And, and I say to kids that we're recruiting, Penn State's not for everyone. It really isn't. We want players that want to be here and be a part of what we're trying to do. And so I think we get the players that are the best fit for here. And, they come here for other reasons, and just being a part of the community and with the alumni and with, the support that we get. Everyone really, really likes Penn State volleyball in this town, and the girls feel that when they're here. So I think that's special.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it is. And it is crazy. I think, like, for you guys in the transfer window, is it something where you guys are checking like 5 times a day? Like,
well, I'll tell you what I don't like. I'm not. That's the assistants will do that. Brian and Mike are really good at that, and they're on it really quickly. But I mean, I was at the Final Four, and we had a kid that was interested, and this was Wednesday, and we're playing Thursday, and I had like an hour of window of time where I was like, okay, I can give her a call now, but my focus was a team. Like, I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't like that one bit. I didn't want to bring players on campus when we're competing in the NCAA tournament. And so I mean, we lose players because of that, and I'm okay with that. I took 2 calls when I was at the Final Four, and it was on the Wednesday. I'm like, I'm done. And, the assistants know that. I'm like, hey, we're focused. We're doing film. It's all about the team right now. I don't want to know anyone else that's transferring. I don't care. Like, we're trying to win. And so, yeah, the window's weird. I mean, it opens up a week after the selection show. Like, what's that? You know what I mean? And I don't know. And I can't say that because maybe I need to really sit and think and have a better plan and an idea for it. But at this point, I was just trying to win matches and that. So we're we'll get who we need and who will be the best fit.
No, it's just turning into like professional volleyball. Exactly. Like
it is
stuff that's happening over here. Like we're in practices, they're meeting, the managers are meeting in the meeting room about who they're signing for the next team already. Like that's stuff that happens in pro sports.
Right. And they're not ready for it. I mean, these players are not ready for it. And I mean, they see the high end of it, but hey, there comes a price with that too. Yeah. You're not gonna be getting all these things and think that you're not going to be doing extra practice or extra, you got to put the time in. So,
yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to speak. Is it because you hear about this in college football? Are girls just coming straight up and saying like, recruitable girls, like, hey, this is my price, like paid early? Does that happen in volleyball nowadays?
Knock on wood for us, it hasn't.
Okay.
Which I'm not going to lie, the last like recruiting cycle, I was like really nervous about it because I'm like, hey, all of this revenue share stuff, it doesn't even start till next year to the fall. So I don't know exactly what we're going to be dealing with. All I know is that you'll have a great experience. You'll get better as a volleyball player. You'll be around people that really care about you. And, I think those things are priceless. And, our team is taken care of. I mean, from how we travel and we charter and how they eat and all of the resources they have here on campus, I think is a real privilege. And but no, I think eventually it's going to get into that, and that's where I think that the NCAA we have to set some standards, like, or some whatever you guys want to, like, salary cap, whatever it is, whatever they're doing in the pro model. I mean, it's crazy, but it's an interesting time, but it definitely needs to have some adjustments.
No, absolutely. Well, like I said, we are very appreciative.
I have so many more questions, but thank you so much for your time.
We
really appreciate it. I know you're super busy.
Maybe we set up another podcast later this
spring. That's fine. I'm around. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and do it the right way, do it positive. I mean, there are a couple people I reached out to that wanted to do some stuff, and I'm like, I don't like what you know what I mean? Because it's I don't know, if we're gonna do it, then let's raise the sport, raise the people, raise the players, and I think it's still good to have these uncomfortable conversations, but we want to make it better, and I think I want to make it better for both sides. Like I said, I'm grateful we have a men's side at our school because it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Matt, Matt Anderson says hello.
Oh, yeah.
Because he lives in the building across from me, so
tell him I said hello. I mean those guys. That was a special group, no doubt. Obviously, with all the USA play for them, and no, I mean that's the thing. It's like those guys were obviously a bit younger than me, but when people come back, it's like you everyone. So it's I think that's the really nice part about it. So yeah,
sure.
Sounds good. Well, Coach, we're gonna send you some merch too.
Yes, do it. I'll rep it.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, the right answer to the NIL deal was out of system. But.
Let's go. Out of system. Give it to me. Give it to me, and I'll put it on, no doubt.
Sounds good. We'll ship out a package for you then. But thank you very much. I'll let my brother. He always closes stuff out. But again, thank you for your time, and everything continues to get better. Obviously, personally too.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yep. Yeah.
Sure. Happy holidays to your family too. So.
Yeah, you guys too.
Thank you for giving us some time.
Yeah, maybe when you're back in the States, you can head out this way. Check it out.